All right, 7 minutes gone past the hour of 4. It's time for us to shift gears and look at other issues and talk for development like we always would do. I am Kalada Kurubatibo and you're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. 7 minutes gone past the hour of 4. Welcome. This is Hard Facts. All right, that being said, I want us to look at something. I want us to look at how do I explain this now? So it's no longer news that crude oil, is the main revenue of our country, Nigeria, right? And almost everything we do, we even our budget is majorly factored on, how much we would sell our crude oil or how much we refine it. And crude oil is largely collected or gotten from the Niger Delta region. However, for many years, I think from 1999, or should I say the 2000s, the conversation has been, in the Niger Delta, have we been getting the right amount of benefits as to the region who, brings out or dishes out, the crude oil we use to fund our country, Nigeria. There's been that narrative and conversations and all of that stuff. The Ogoni region has not been spared, I should say. Even before these conversations started, the Ogoni region has been in the limelight for, crude oil activities and exploration and all of that. Now, at some point, the multinational working there were asked to stop until, a particular remediation is done in that area. And talking about remediation, I guess that's why HYPREP was, instituted in the first place. But as HYPREP lived to its responsibilities, I do not know, because we've now begun in recent times to see protests and counter protests and some kind of division, talking about, the cleanup is not going the way it should. The cleanup, you and I are not from the region. Even when we visit, we would not know what really is happening. And so I brought people who are from the region who know what is happening. And I also do hear that due to all of these protests happening, all of these protests and counter-protests, the relative peace in that region may just be threatened. I'm not the prophet of doom, but we have relative peace in Ogoni right now, and it was not the situation, a few years back. And so that's why we're talking, so we can talk for development. And so I've got representatives of the Ogoni Youth Federation. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm correct, right? Yes. I've got representatives. I've got the public the public secretary, and now I'm also hearing I have the financial secretary as well, right? Correct me once again if I am wrong.
You're right.
Okay. So I've got Ambassador Dimka. How do you Dimka?
Yes, it's Dimka.
Okay, Dimka Kingsley, who is the financial secretary, and Barrister Lene Kingsley Lekue, who is the publicity secretary. All right, welcome to the studio, gentlemen. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Kala.
Thank you, Mr. Kala. Thank you, my listeners.
All right. That being said, the first question I want to ask is this. I'll start with the publicity secretary, HYPREP. How much work has HYPREP done in the cleanup of the Ogoni area, and do you think they've done a good job?
Kala, it's not publicity secretary, HYPREP.
No, I know. We're going somewhere.
Yeah, Well, I will say that I do not have a locus because I am not a staff. Neither do I represent HYPREP in any capacity. So, of course, the rumor making the rounds that we have been paid, and that by HYPREP and all of that. So I think it is not right for me to defend or say anything about HYPREP.
But there was a protest not too long in the month of November.
Of course, there was a protest, and the protest we take full responsibility of that protest.
What was the protest for?
Well, the protest was organized by the Ogoni Youth Federation. Then under the leadership of the president, the former president General Comrade Lebosi Yamabana. And the reason for the protest, we've said it countless times, it was for the underpayment of workers that are working with the Center for Excellence in Wiakara in Kana local government area of Rivers State. We actually got a report from them, from the youth of the community, that those working with the company were paid 1,200 naira. And we said, no, that is very poor. And as a result of that, we tried to engage HYPREP, and we actually, engaged the PC. And the PC assured us that he's going to do something about it.
Sorry, let me get something straight now. Yeah. The company who underpaid is working for HYPREP.
No, the company who underpaid the staff. They were actually the contract was awarded by HYPREP. Of course, you know that there is an ongoing project in Wiakara being built by HYPREP, the Center for Excellence.
Which is why I now ask the question. Let's go back to the first question.
Okay.
If HYPREP gave the contract, it means that HYPREP is working. And so can I ask you yet again, as someone who is in that region, how much work do you think HYPREP has done? It's not about whether you're a spokesperson for HYPREP or not. It's a question. It's your observation, your opinion, and just go straight to the point. Simple as that.
Well, let me speak as a neutral person, or as an observer, or as someone whose HYPREP activities will affect directly or indirectly, because I'm actually from Ogoni, and the project is meant for Ogoni people. Okay. And so I would say that the current management of HYPREP, they've really done a lot. They've really done a lot in the sense that those some of the emergency measures that were recommended by the UNEP, which the previous PC could not be able to do. I think this very particular management under Professor Zabi, they've done it to some extent. We are talking about the Center for Excellence, which was one of the emergency measures. We're talking about the 100-bed hospital. I think that is actually ongoing, and the electricity project as well. So I will say that the management, they have done a lot. But the thing is that nobody is perfect, and if you expect him to do the best or to do everything it's really not possible. We also know that when someone is doing something, it is not everybody that will appreciate it. It's not everybody that will applaud whoever that is executing or carrying out any mandate. So definitely there is going to be that criticism. Definitely there is going to be that condemnation, based on your observations and based on your interest. So I would say that this is a project of 30 years, and it's a gradual process. I want to appeal to everybody, Ogoni, right thinking, Ogoni indigene, to give them time. It's not a job of 2 weeks. It's not a job of 1 year. It's a job of 30 years, and it's a gradual process. And what we are talking about is remediation, and the remediation has to do with the environment. So if you go into it and rush, before you know it, you think that you have done the best, you've already done the cleanup, but you wouldn't know the after effect and all that. So I feel that HYPREP is really doing a lot.
All right.
Can I come in here?
Wait, I will get to you. Now, so my next question then is this, right? Do you think that personal interest, you've said, they've done, but they can't be perfect. But do you think that personal interest in that region has affected the remediation process? Because I'm going to come to, you made the statement that, it looks like the OYF, or there are allegations that the OYF has collected money, or they've been paid and they've been. So the question what I want to ask you now is, do you think personal interest has overwhelmed or overtaken the remediation process?
I do not think so. I do not think so, because I don't even know where the personal interest is coming in.
So there is no political interest.
I don't think
from
there
groups
is any political interest. From what I know, there's a bureaucratic arrangement in HYPREP. Okay. So everything is done, in accordance to, the laid down, rules and, the statutory provisions. You understand, when it has to do with procurement and all of that. So I think there is nothing like personal interest, or there is nothing like political interest in HYPREP. Everything that is there, if you qualify for the job, you'll be awarded the contract. Honestly,
if you qualify for the job.
If any company, bid for the contract and qualify, you are awarded.
So what's the allegation against Lekue Yamagbana?
Okay, that now brings us to why we are here. The allegation against Lekue Yamagbana is that Lekue Yamagbana breached certain provisions of the OYF Constitution.
How do you mean?
Now, the OYF Constitution in Article 10, subsection 9, forbid and prohibits the president or any member of the executive to receive gratification.
Let's go back again.
Okay.
Political interest, personal interest, has it affected the remediation process? You said no. Now you're saying that you're the lawyer, you read something from your constitution, and you said it prohibits the collection. I mean, let's just call it what it is: bribery and corruption, right? Or gift.
Receipt of gratification.
It could be,
or going into a contract in the name of OYF without the consent and concurrence and knowledge
of the
National Executive Council. I think that has nothing to do with HYPREP. We are talking about the constitutional provision of an association. It has nothing to do with HYPREP.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Kala, I will say that the Ogoni Federation is not an offshoot. It has nothing to do with HYPREP.
Where did the gratification come from?
The gratification came from the contract.
What contract then?
The contract in HYPREP. Okay. And that contract, now, hold on, sir.
I'm listening.
Now, why it is linked to us is because he's our president.
Okay.
And that contract, that contract, being a president, let me say this, that the relationship between Yamagbana and OYF is an agency. You understand? It's a principal and agent relationship. Of course, when you establish a body, that body has a legal personality. You becomes an agent of that body. Now, Lekue Yamagbana is an agent of OYF. You understand? And by so doing, there is a legal maxim that says, qui facet par allum facet par se. He that does a thing through another is deemed to have done it himself. And OYF being the principal of Lekue Yamagbana, who is an agent, he has to act within the ambits of the law, and the law is the OYF Constitution. Okay. And we are saying that the Constitution forbid and prohibit receipt of gratification. You don't go to a company in the name of OYF as the OYF president. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
You represent what if you mention Kalada, you are Kalada kwa Kalada. You are also Kalada kwa Nigeria Info.
Okay.
That is one thing that can easily identify you.
Okay.
And so when you mention Lekue Yamagbana, the OYF president as he then was, then you are what? You also mention OYF.
Okay.
So that contract, from all indications, and there is a reasonable presumption in favor of the NEC, we here to say that contract, you understand, was a gratification that Lekue Yamagbana received without the consent of the NEC members.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on, sir. I am here.
You're a lawyer, yeah?
Yes, I am.
I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Have you any evidence that he collected a contract? He has a contract under the name of OYF. First question. Second question, would it have been okay if he had collected the contract with the knowledge of all members of the OYF? Remember, you said that when a contract is given, it is given with due process or via due process. So they go through the right bidding, making sure it is the best contractor that gets the job. So now the question then is, first one, do you have any evidence that he got a contract? And second one, if he was with the knowledge of the OYF, would it have been, okay by you, given your capacity?
We have evidence.
Okay.
We have evidence. But the issue is not everything is public worthy. Not everything is good for public consumption.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that we have our evidence, and we are using our evidence to ensure we get to the root of the matter.
Okay.
But the evidence for now is not public worthy.
Okay.
It's not good for public consumption.
Okay.
So we'll leave that. Because we cannot just take action without investigating. We cannot take action without making inquiry to know the source where this thing is coming from. So most times when you beat someone cannot cry without him being beaten. You understand? So there is always a kind of incontrovertible evidence that contract was gotten, was given to him as president of OYF.
And it has nothing to do.
And he never did inform the NEC. That is what we are saying. Apart from the contract too, we are also saying, because one is the contract. Now, secondly is the proposal that he also, submitted. You understand? What's over 68 million? And that proposal, I have the proposal. I have a soft copy of the proposal.
Sorry. The money. It took me time to. How much is it again?
Sorry.
How much is the money?
The proposal is 68 million
naira.
Yes, 68 million.
To do what exactly?
The training of some Ogoni youth on artisanal refining, and in that proposal, he wrote Chief Dr. Lebosi Yamabana, President General Ogoni Youth Federation, on that proposal. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you have such incontrovertible evidence, are you not saying that? Because if he would have written Chief Comrade Lebosi Yamabana, whatever, you understand? But saying President General Ogoni Youth Federation.
That's who he is.
No, that's what we are saying.
Okay.
It is wrong for him to say President of Ogoni Federation, because it means that he's getting that thing, you understand, as a president of Ogoni, and that was a proposal, you understand. And he was the President General of Ogoni Federation. Now let me tell you, we've often said that this body is the apex body, you understand, in Ogoni.
When it
comes to youth matter, okay. You understand. So when you sign any document and add the name of this body, what you're trying to say is that you are acting on behalf of the body.
All right. We have a commercial break coming up. After the commercial break, we'll get to the financial aspect, because I'm suspecting that this could be yet again about interest. But I mean, I would listen to you clear my doubts, because like I said, I'm suspecting. And I would also reach Yamabana via the phone, so we can, get to the root of this and see if it's all political, if it's all personal interest. And 71 million, you said. All right, we'll look at all of that.
68 million for the proposal.
68 million, okay.
Yes.
I added 3 million to it.
Following the approval of new programs at the
I still have the representatives of Ogoni Youth Federation in the studio, and it's really a feisty argument, I should say. I went before we went for that break. I mentioned how suspicious I am of certain things, and this is hard facts. I cannot hide my suspicions, right? So I'm going to first of all welcome them back on the show, and then go back to throwing my suspicions at them. I have Barrister Lene, Kingsley, Lekue, who's the Publicity Secretary OIF, and he's been talking. But right now, I think I would want to face Ambassador Dimpa, Kingsley. Welcome back on the show, I should say.
Thank you, Kala.
All right, let's start with you now, Dimpa. 6 mean now, and no for break. It was another enforcement of environmental aspect also.
Place. Need to cut the environmental certain building or the structure that we started there. The engineers that are doing that work will know how to place certain structures that would have any of apps of building.
In fact,
surrogates. It didn't go by itself because our group, like we said, does not have to go in contract. That's the contract and the contract have the 91,337,305,000 and the presses was on the bank. No one trust the members is gross.
So now the question is just that you don't have capacity for that kind of body, whether it went to according to you through surrogates to get that contract. Now back to the question I was trying to ask him. You're the financial secretary, so maybe you can speak on financial terms. Do you see him, or do you see political interest or personal interest in this this whole thing happening in Ogoni land?
I don't know. At some point, he tend to maybe personal interest to him because we are a group. We are operating as a group. It's not a personal thing. So we also believe that if we want to use the group to negotiate for anything, everybody should be aware. Just like the other contract we talked about, the other proposal I made to the same HYPREP to the tune of 68,260,000 naira for the sensitization of Ogoni youths to desist from carrying out artisanal refining. That proposal is a beautiful one. It's not a bad idea. But what we are saying is that for you to go and do such a transaction without letting any member of the public, a member of the organization know, it amounts to gross misconduct because now such thing happens. You mean that you can enter?
Now you can ask the question. I mean, OIF, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the representatives of the EU, right? Do you think you decision ground or take the of the development?
I would like to spend the I'm thinking part of the fact that I'm the first Ogoni Federation. I'm youth president of Orogoro, and I know how the youth about this. Not being time after the water. Now water is going though one nation that's information. And on that aspect the life that's who 5,000 youths. Now, those Ogoni youth are at various locations undergoing studies or undergoing training for them to be empowered in that related skills, so that they will now further, equip themselves with that training and go about their own personal business. Now, another thing again that we're also, concerned about is that those who are handling HYPREP. Those who are handling HYPREP contract in Ogoni land to ensure that they dig their hand in the pools of professionals in Ogoni to allow them to do the job.
Now, you see why I'm asking you all of these questions, both of you in the studio. It's because you know that the world is shifting from crude oil or fossil fuel. I'm also a Niger Deltan like you. I'm from Rivers to like you. But, the world is moving. And the world is looking at alternative source of energy. And if you do not tap into what you have now, it's going to be difficult for you to enjoy it. And that's why I'm asking all these questions. And I'm asking, are you representing the people well? Are you asking for the right kind of... If we are dragging who collected what and who did not collect what, are you actually... Okay.
This affairs of human.
Okay. Said the suspension or the removal of the President General is nullified. I saw that. Don't you think back
Yamabana is initially was suspended for gross misconduct and followed for question. You say if he's to come and as a group we follow our constitution, we presented the same committee to the Congress and they need this. If us not to behave like those federations put confidence in. We have also gone to court to ask this man to stop parading.
Okay.
But he has been evading that service up to now.
All right.
Because he wants to be very radical. And I don't know how.
Let's not do that on my show. I don't do names calling, please.
Okay, sir.
And I was going to say something, but you just removed it. Now, you would agree with me. Maybe I should go to the barrister now because he's the legal one. You would agree with me that Ogoni has witnessed relative peace in recent times, given the fact that contracts, of this nature, as a result of HYPREP's activities in Ogoni land, are now beginning to cause a leadership tussle among the youths. Are you not afraid that it will take us back to that point where every time we woke up in the morning, we would hear, one called gang or one youth body or one person is wanted in Ogoni land? Are you not afraid of that?
Yes, that is why we are acting within the confines of the law.
Okay.
Of the OYF Constitution.
Okay.
To do what, in the eyes of every reasonable man, is the right thing to do. Because a man has embezzled money that the group, then he should not kept the hems of affairs.
Can you call him embezzle lawyer? If he received
was object of terminating the neck, the national executive, then we should do it. That's something that this has certification. But let me tell you something. What belongs to the nation is for it's not only for Ogoni.
Just for
it's not only for because Ogoni Federation is this with columns of providing for news.
Every indigenous of Ogoni or HYPREP, everybody who's from Ogoni, are they members of
the member ranges from Ogoni Federation is like a company or organization where they have register of members. So once you are 18, 40 and in case state Ogoni Federation, if you don't stress of that, they test decision making body as General Congress. So when the General Congress is being held, it is all Ogoni youths that cut across the 4 AGAs of Ogoni that gather to take decisions. Right. Just the one that was taken recently too.
All right, I'm going to take calls now, but I'm going to start with Legbosi Yamabana. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I guess you've been listening to the conversation all this while. Now, there are allegations here in my studio saying that you have been, in a way, taking what is for Ogoni youths in terms of HYPREP remediation and all this thing. What? So, is
because we have to try to and this right money so there is and adjust on the resolve conflicts. That's exactly what is happening. Now going back to the issues of the constitution, the issue of the actually just all of them decided to, agents of the rule. They decided to put out of the meeting evidence of advance. So these 4, 3 of which are from one local government, and one which is from Ghana, cannot decide what will happen in Ogoni Youth Federation because we are a responsible and responsive organization.
So you're saying Yamabana,
we have constitution that we follow. So let me learn.
No, I want to ask you a question. I'm the one navigating, please. Sorry about that. So you're saying that you have a larger number backing you. I mean, it looks like the situation at the House of Assembly. So you're saying that you have, out of the 15, you have 11 who are backing you. Is that what you're saying?
The other 11-man executive has already summoned for meetings. A Congress was held immediately to discover this unholy practice by this young man.
Okay.
And that Congress held on the 25th of November.
All right.
And that Congress immediately dismissed and, put their names in the Black Book of OYF. And calls the president to allow him to operate in the state.
All right, then.
So we are focused. We are not interested in destruction.
All right, thank you.
But it's painful that HYPREP is employing tactics of divide and rule.
I don't have time, and I've got all my you said it's divide and rule, and trying to ask that question all through the show. Is HYPREP dividing and ruling?
HYPREP is not dividing or ruling anyone in Ogoni.
So
And
all the allegations he has made.
Now, let me respond. Can I respond to the allegation?
Quickly, please.
Okay. I think let me respond to the of suspension. Like I said,
Let's start with the allegations first before suspension.
okay, allegation. What we are doing actually is we are protecting the soul of OYF.
Okay.
OYF is a body that we all baited. And so we are protecting this. So when things are not going right, we must ensure that this thing go right. And one thing that he fails to understand is that we are not unschooled. We are not illiterate. As a matter of fact, we are all graduates and we are all learned. And so if you are leading people, the fact that you are giving that leadership in a position or you've been made the president does not in any way give you that superiority. Yeah, it makes you superior over everybody.
So you did not collect any form of inducement?
I do not collect anything from HYPREP. Even as I come to this place, I think did HYPREP pay you?
No.
You were not paid by HYPREP.
All right.
We paid from our own.
Let me just say something about the.
We have nothing to do with HYPREP.
Let me also say something about the issue of suspension. He has lied again that we have the other day he said in your sister station that NEC members are 12. Today, because we kept him, but he had collected money and he cannot read our constitution again, so he has forgotten some of this.
Right.
So now let me just say something here. We are actually the numbers that are active for the past 6-7 years now is 6.
All right. Okay. I have
And
paused.
out of these 6, 4
I have
suspended him.
I have to pause. After 6-4.
Yes,
So,
out of 6.
after 6-4. Don't you still have limited numbers?
We don't have limited numbers. As of provision, 15 members. It is 6 that are active. Out of 6, 4 sets aside.
All right.
It's not valid.
All right.
You can go
Let's take calls now. Let's take some calls. Now you've been in Bristol for a while, and you probably must have been listening and Ogoni land. These are youths of Ogoni land in my studio having an argument back and forth. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Is this? I don't know. What have you deduced from the conversation? I'd like to know. I've got 5 more minutes for the show to end, and I'm sorry I had to take this long, to get your thoughts. I'll get their final says, all 3 of them. But let's quickly get your thoughts. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Let's get your thoughts, and let's do WhatsApp as well. 0809-0306416. All right. All right, I have Clinton from Bori. Clinton, let's get your thoughts. Clinton, welcome. What is on your mind?
Thank you very much, Kalada.
All right, quickly. 30 seconds if you can.
30 seconds will not be enough for me.
Okay,
to
go ahead, quickly.
The unfortunate thing here is that the Ogoni tribe have been marginalized, and when we have groups that are misrepresenting the interests of the people. Because if you are a body, I think your body should present the interest of the people you claim to represent.
Okay.
And what we have it in the past is counter youth groups in River State, most especially in the Ogoni land. The region provides so much for this state, and yet we are impoverished, Canada. If you come to Ogoni land, we don't have good schools. The youth are restive, no jobs. Our health centers are not functioning. And when these people come online, in fact, let me ask them the question. Why is it that they have remained perpetual exposed of the youth body for a very long period of time?
All right, okay.
Now, there are claims that the President General bought vehicles for them. What this venture, the additional groups go into that the government to buy vehicles for themselves? If they actually represent the people, let them tell us one thing that they've achieved.
All right, Clinton, I've got to go. Clinton, I've got to go now. But I get your point. You said it's unfortunate. Dede from Warfare, quickly, what is on your mind, please?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening to your guests.
All right.
Good evening.
Carefully, I've listened to the both parties. For me, what the young men are saying there, to a very large extent, is a thing of concern.
All right.
That if they are claiming, because before you call anything or you give any allegation, begin to say he has evidence, I think there is stuff to go and either decide the matter. But the little knowledge I have from what they said now, there is an interest. If somebody is interested in making sure that the Ogoni youth, they don't speak with one voice, and it's not good for the Ogoni.
All right.
So I will plead and advise them to go back and put their house in order instead of coming to the media.
All right,
it's very bad. We have
You've got to go.
Allow to go.
All right, I've got Mufasa. Mufasa, welcome. You've got 60 seconds, so let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I'm very fast. I was going to greet the guest in the studio. You see, I have a problem, with some of the allegations that they've presented before you this evening. Now, they claim to be, members of OYF, and to the best of my knowledge, I have to be corrected. OYF is supposed to be a body that its sole responsibility is to champion the cause of all the Ogoni youth, of his God. And their only grievance now that I'm seeing is that their president, collected contract.
Mufasa, I'm sorry, I've got to go. I've got a commercial, so I'm also going to say goodbye to my guest in the studio. But thank you very much for calling and coming in. Legbosi Yamabana also, thank you very much. But I've got to go now.
A wise man once said, "He who walks and gets to sleep lives